I like Rutgers to win their first 4-game over Notre Dame and then to knock off Alabama. Just have a feeling about the Scarlet Knights. I think that they're in a position to potentially win a couple games here. I love the way they played down the stretch. I don't think they'll be phased at all. I think they're going to beat Notre Dame. I saw that line last night at like 1. I think it's a good matchup for Rutgers. I like the way things shake out for them. So for me, I know I'm going bold because it is a first 4 team. I don't like either of the 5-12 or 4-13 in this predicament. I don't. I think Arkansas with JD Note, and I'll get to them in a little bit. I feel bad that Vermont drew them. Maybe Vermont gives them a game, and I don't think UConn's going to have trouble with New Mexico State. But I'm going to go with Rutgers here. And then I made the bold prediction last night, and I'm probably going against everybody because I saw the line is fat. I would not be surprised, based on their guard play, if Montana State gives Texas Tech a game here. So my really, really bold upset predictions, the boldest one I have in the bracket could be Montana State on the Big Sky. I like the way they're constructed. And, guys, I'm doubting Texas Tech heading into March Madness.
All right. T.O., what do you got?
That's a big one. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
I think Arkansas is going to be able to get past Gonzaga in the 3rd round. And I know that's
wow.
an upset that's way down there, but I think Arkansas, because of their physicality around the perimeter and their athletes on the interior, I think that Arkansas could make a push to get to the Elite 8. The other one I'm looking at is Davidson, and not just over Michigan State, who's been very up and down, but Foster Loyer might be like, hey, you guys have had point guard problems. I'm that point guard, but I'm no longer there. I'm shooting 45% from 3. Please don't forget about your boy. So that there's some unique storylines in college basketball. This NCAA tournament this year, I think that's one of them. And I think Davidson will upset Michigan State. And then we get to that 2nd round, and you have a Duke team that just lost to a Virginia Tech team that plays very, very similar to this Davidson team. I have Davidson to the Sweet 16, and wow. I think it could be a big-time upset, and Coach K could finish his career off in Greenville.
Wow.
Yes. So I don't know about Davidson beating Duke. I think that Arkansas can get picked off in the 1st round.
Wow.
I think that UVM can get them because I think so much of what Arkansas does is based off their ability to be great defensively. Like, they have so many athletes that can really pressure you. And I know Vermont has been doing it against America East opponents, and I know that they didn't have to deal with Stony Brook in their conference tournament because of Stony Brook leaving the league. But I mean, UVM has just been unconscious for like the last month of the season. They blew out everybody in their league. They beat everybody in the league tournament by 30 plus. They got a bunch of guys that can score a bunch of points. And if they're making their shots, I think that's a dangerous matchup for Arkansas. I also think, and the pick I was going to make was Rutgers Fanta over Alabama to get to the 2nd round.
We always have the same answer.
Yeah, so I'll go. Yeah, I know you always steal my answers. So I'll go with Texas Tech beating Duke to get to the Elite 8. I think that. I don't know if that technically counts as the upset, but Fanta stole mine. I also think that if Memphis can get to the 2nd round, they'll provide a tough matchup for Gonzaga, but I actually have Boise beating them because I think Boise's good enough defensively that they're going to make life miserable for Memphis. I came in when this always happens. There's always 1 or 2 teams where I'm like, no matter what happens, I'm picking that team to the Sweet 16. I don't care who they match up with. And then get that one matchup where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I got to go a different way.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Good pick. In the words of Lee Corso, good pick on Boise State. Now, wait a minute, quickly. Do you think that UConn is going to make the Sweet 16? Because based on some of your course of logic, I sense it.
I can see him getting there. I'm worried about that matchup with New Mexico State. Like, those dudes are tough. Those dudes are physical.
They rebound.
Chris Jans is going to have them ready to play their ass off. So I think that the matchup with New Mexico State is going to be tougher than people realize. But I don't hate the draw. I think that they actually match up fairly well with Arkansas. And I would love to see UConn play Arkansas in the 2nd round of the tournament. But I don't.
You're talking about 2 tough teams.
Yeah.
Hey, let me be very clear and brief. Connecticut better win that game over New Mexico State. I'm just saying.
No, they should. They
better win the game, because if they go out like this again, you lost to Maryland last year. There's going to be like you got to win. You're UConn. You need to win this game. I'm just saying that's the standard there.
I 100% agree with you. It's not. I mean, the 5-12s are always where you look for upsets.
I'm with you.
This is not a great matchup. All right, let's go for players to watch. I'm going to you first on this one, Tio, because I already know where Fanch is going to go on this, and he's probably going to steal my guy again.
There's a couple. I've already mentioned some.
Take what? You get what? You get one. Understand the rules of the game, Tio.
Wow.
Get one.
All right, player to watch. Memphis is Jalen Duren. The reason being, I know he's been the focus of a lot of stories this year. Reason being is they get past Boise State. That Gonzaga matchup is going to be really intriguing between him and Drew Timme. I think because of his size and athleticism and all that, like I think that could be something to look at because of his strength. He could keep Drew Timme out of the post. It's just the fact that he's a freshman. I wonder how exactly Drew Timme is going to handle that. He struggled with guys similar to him in the past. I think because he's a freshman, Drew Timme might be able to toy around with him a little bit with all of his shot fakes and footwork. But that second round game, if Memphis gets past Boise, and I have Boise picked, but if Memphis gets past Boise, Drew Timme and Jalen Duren matchup is going to be fun to watch.
Yep. All right, Fanta, go ahead.
I'm going to go with a big man, 6'8", 250. Okay, I appreciate the guys who like going to the lunch buffet. Ryan Davis of UVM is my player to watch. Ryan Davis is a big boy. He's as good as there is in the America East, averages over 17 points per game. Guys, he's shooting 42% from beyond the arc, and he's got size, and he's shooting almost 60% from the field. And I think he's very lovable. Like in March Madness, we love certain personalities and certain kids. If Vermont's going to pull this off over Arkansas, it's going to be because Ryan Davis is a big-time story. I think the Catamounts will be in it. I like the geographical draw for them, too. Their fans are going to be able to make the short trip over to Buffalo. Give me Ryan Davis as a player to watch.
Can I ask you one question, Fanta?
Yes, sir.
Do you think he's going to hit one from the parking lot?
Oh, he might. He might. They're certainly capable of it. Like, yes, TJ Sorensen and Gus Johnson on the call that was unconscious when Vermont beat Syracuse. Yeah, man. Yeah, he might. Ryan Davis, baby, that's my guy in this region.
Yeah, I don't hate it. That's he's their best player. When they did lose in league play, it was because he was not available. I think they lost. It was Hartford in overtime that they lost to. I remember that because I bet on Vermont in that game. And that was that one hurt. I'm going to go on the other side of that matchup though. I'm going to say JD Notae is the guy to watch because I think it's very feasible that Arkansas can get to a Final Four out of this group. I think that I think they match up well with UConn. I think that they can beat UConn. I think that if they get to that Gonzaga game because of their physicality and athleticism and toughness, I think that they could give Gonzaga some trouble. And if they get to the Elite Eight, I mean, look, JD Notae is a guy that can get you 30 and 8 against pretty much anybody, right? And when they defend the way they defend and JD Notae goes off, I said it before the tournament started. There are two guys that I think can go on a Kemba Walker, Shabazz Napier kind of a run out of this group. It's JD Notae and Johnny Davis. So how can I not mention JD Notae here? All right. What was the last thing what's the one matchup that you're rooting for out of this region? Fanta, you go first.
No question about it. I mean, it's not even a question what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Tom Izzo versus Mike Krzyzewski down in Greenville. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. And that's no disrespect to Davidson. But if we get Duke and Michigan State on the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I actually like the way that Duke would match up with Michigan State more than I like the way Duke matches up with Davidson, to T.O.'s point earlier. That being said, I'm never going to bet against Izzo. I'm never going to go against Tom Izzo. And I think that for Michigan State, what are they getting from Gabe Brown and Malik Hall? What are those guys giving them? Are they able to create transition in this tournament? Davidson's going to say, we are not giving you transition. Now, Michigan State needs that to win. So yes, that's the fascinating dimension to the Michigan State and Davidson game. In fact, if Greenville is the site this weekend, it's the Coaching for Dummies site. If I were a young coach looking to go to one site this weekend to learn some things, I would take my little journal and I'd go down to Greenville and I'd sit down in section 200 and I'd say, okay, Bob McKillop, what's he like to run? All right, Tom Izzo, what's he like to run? All right, here comes Coach K. What are they doing? Like, this is it's like a coaching clinic. It's like a coaching clinic down there this weekend. I want Duke, Michigan State.
Tia, what are you rooting for?
I hope I get a Connecticut-Arkansas matchup because I'm sitting here, I'm looking at two of the toughest teams in the country. They're not overly skilled, either one, but it's like they survive off grit. They survive on the boards. They survive on defense. I think that game could be fantastic moving forward. And both teams have really, really good players. And JD Notae, Tyree Smart, like that. There's so many intriguing matchups there. That I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think one to keep an eye on is Jalen Williams has had to deal with some beasts in the post in the SEC. If he goes up against Adama Sanogo, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch as well. Connecticut and Arkansas in that second round would be awesome.
Yeah, I want to see the Gonzaga-Duke rematch if we can get there. I don't think that Duke is going to get there, but I think that would be one of those games where you have the talent, you have the hype, you have the players, you have the buzz. It would be one of those ones that gets a lot of eyeballs, and it would be a great thing for the Field of 68 and also for college basketball, the sport as a whole. All right, I have Gonzaga beating UConn, Texas Tech beating Duke, and then Gonzaga getting past Texas Tech to get to the Final Four. Fanta, what do you have?
Yep, I have Gonzaga coming out of this region. I will go with UConn to make the Sweet 16. I think Gonzaga beats them. I like Rutgers to beat Alabama, as we talked about, but I like Texas Tech making the Sweet 16. I think Duke will make it, but I like Texas Tech to knock them off. So I've got Gonzaga, Texas Tech. Gonzaga wins.
All right, we got the same thing. T.O., what do you got? I know
I got Arkansas.
Your bracket's crazy. I love
mine has messed up significantly, and now after getting a full night's sleep, I'm having to defend these picks. But I'm going to go ahead and stay with it. Arkansas, Texas Tech in the Elite Eight, and
Wow.
I've got Texas Tech going to the Final Four.
Wow.
And there's going to be 50,000 Red Raider fans coming by horse from Lubbock to New Orleans, and I'm fired up about it.
That'd be amazing if Mark Adams does that in year one. That would really be something.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be a shame that a Texas Tech, Arkansas Elite Eight matchup with the Final Four on the line would have to be played out west instead of playing it. Like, I feel like they got to play that one in like Texarkana or something like that, right? You got to play that like
awesome.
you got to play that like in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Dust Bowl.